All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, giving double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect, shalom to all the brothers out here laboring in this truth with sincerity. So just gonna go into a couple articles, you know, as it pertains to what's going on now. Basically going into this man's kingdom, crumbling, and his various signs that we're seeing, man. You know, and this is one of them. It says after former Prince Andrew's arrest due to Epstein connections, members of Congress call for more. So, this goes into the book of Second Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 9. Because this man's world is over, man. It says, the book of Second Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 9, it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we see this man's kingdom crumbling. You have a prestigious, so-called prestigious prince, being arrested, man, because of his wickedness. It's been exposed. It says Americans have largely avoided the scrutiny that has confronted the European elite. It says after UK authorities Thursday arrest of former British royal Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, American lawmakers bemoan the lack of legal consequences for the rich and powerful connected to Jeffrey Epstein inside the U.S. and called on federal government to punish harder on the people who were close to him. So, Egyptian set against Egyptian. And this article came out today. So this man has been arrested, clearly, if he's been arrested, due to the Epstein files, it's definitely some truth to what's being said, man. And people in Babylon the Great are overlooking it because they know if these people are brought to justice as they should be, it would further destroy Babylon the Great, man. This thing is holding on by a thread. But ultimately, it's going to crumble, man. You got the cruel Lord ruling, Nero, a.k.a. President Trump. He's in rulership. Man is out of his mind, causing all kind of chaos. And this is one of them, man. It says Trump warns of bad things if Iran doesn't make deal as second U.S. carrier nears Mideast. So now, we're headed for another war, man. And hey, it's inevitable, But the thing about this, man, Iran, you got to look at who the allies of Iran are, man. Russia is a key ally to Iran. So it says, this comes by way of the AP, Associated Press. It says Dubai, United Arab Emirates. It says Iran held annual military drills with Russia on Thursday as a second American aircraft drew closer to the Middle East, with both the United States and Iran signaling they are prepared for war if talks on Tehran's nuclear program fizzle out. It says President Trump said he believes 10 to 15 days is enough time for Iran to reach a deal. Here we go with the bullying again. If America is capable of having nuclear weapons, hey, why can't anyone else, man? These people have the right to defend themselves. So it says, but the talks have been deadlocked for years, and Iran has refused to discuss why the U.S. and Israeli demands that it scale back its missile program and sever ties with armed groups. Indirect talks held in recent weeks made little visible progress, and one or both sides could be buying time for final war preparations. So this would be very detrimental. You know, all this right here would definitely forward Jacob's trouble to a whole nother level, man. You know, this right here would bring forth job loss. Because these companies are going to be cutting back, man. You know, especially in the time of war. You know, trade deals are gonna. Not to mention the stock market. These things are gonna suffer with this war. So let's go to the book of Ezekiel, because it's all prophecy, man. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Let's see. Salakia. The book of Ezekiel. And we're going to get into this book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, because this is prophesied, man. You know. But, oh, man, come on, man. Salakia, 38. It says prophecy about Gog and future invasion of Israel. And this is in our time. So it says Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 1. It says, "And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him." And when you go into Gog, the land of Magog, this is going into the Russians. So let's look that up. Even AI know this, man. It says in modern interpretation, Gog and Magog are frequently identified as a coalition of nations, often including Russia, Iran, and Turkey. And they even know, predicted in biblical prophecy, Ezekiel chapter 38, 39, to invade Israel in the end times. So, this conflict could bring forth, could be the beginning of the Third World War, man. So, and these people know this, man. They listen to the prophets, to put this stuff together, man. AI is collecting a whole lot of data, man. The prophets are forwarding these things, man. Bringing forth edification to the world. So, these lessons, starting with our apostles and elders, man, from Apostle Hall on down, the work that they've been putting in it's had an effect on the whole world, man. And for them to remain humble as they are, definitely lets you know that they are men of the Lord, man. And if you can't see it, then you probably, definitely not of the elect. So it says geopolitical identification. It says many prophecy scholars align Magog with modern day Russia, specifically identifying the leader Gog as a prince of Rosh. And that's in the scriptures. When you go into that word Rosh, it comes forth as Russia. Once you look at the land mass, it says with allies such as Persia, Iran, Turkey, and North African nations like Libya and Sudan. So, this could be the kickoff of World War III, man. Could be the kickoff of World War III. But that just lets you know how close we are. And with that being said, as it pertains to brothers and sisters in this truth, we must prepare ourselves, man. Let's go to the book of Romans. Romans chapter 13. Because we definitely have to prepare ourselves for what's to come. Let's go to the NLT on this. We'll drop down to verse 11. This is the book of Romans chapter 13, verse 11 in the NLT. It says, this is all the more urgent, Salaki, this is all the more urgent for you to know how late it is. Time is running out. Wake up, for our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed. And we can see this. We feel this, man. We see prophecies taking place. And, in our spirit, man, we feel this, man. We know, it is happening. Verse 12, it says, the night is almost gone. The day of salvation will soon be here. So remove your dark deeds like dirty clothes and put on the shining armor of living, Salaki, of right living. The night is almost gone. The day of salvation will soon be here. So remove your dark deeds like dirty clothes and put on the shining armor of right living. Because we're close, man. We're definitely close. Our Lord will be here soon. These people about to kick off World War III. MOTB, this devil is going into so much different technology. I was seeing a lesson that the elder Yashawama did earlier. This devil is going into cloning. So, definitely the days are getting shorter, man. We can feel this, man. Because if not, the whole world is going to perish. But, we almost here, man. But we must prepare ourselves. So let's go to the book of James, chapter 5. We're going to get this in the KJV, though. Because we here, man. We are here, man. We are in dire times, for real. Hey, it's only going to get harder, too. The little benefits that we have now are going to be pulled back, man. This devil is going to start, tightening the rope, so to speak. So this is the book of James, chapter 5 and verse 8. It says, be ye also patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. So let's go into this word establish. And we know when it speaks of the heart, it speaks of the mind. So let's go into this word establish. Establish. To make stable, place firmly, set fast, fix, to strengthen, make firm, to render constant, confirm one's mind. So we must prepare our minds for what's to come, man. Let's read that again. We have to prepare our minds for what's to come. Be ye also patient. Establish your hearts. Establish your minds, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. So, speaking of that, let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians. Because the Lord says, be ye steadfast. 1 Corinthians, Salakia. 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Matter of fact, it's the last verse. And we'll get this in the NLT also. It says, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. But we want to get this word steadfast. Matter of fact, let's get this in the NLT first. It says, so my dear brothers and sisters, be strong, immovable, always work enthusiastically for the Lord. For you know that nothing you do for the Lord is ever useless. So now, we just want to go into this word steadfast, man, because it said, establish your hearts. And this pretty much lines up with being steadfast, So let's go to this word steadfast. Sitting, sedentary, firm, immovable, steadfast. So you wanna be firm, immovable, steadfast. So hey man, your mind have to be set. Matter of fact, let's go back. We gotta go back. Let's go back to the book of St. James and get that word established again. Because we see you have to be immovable in this truth. And this establish is going into having your mindset, man, set on what you need to do. Make stable, place firmly. So your mind has to be firmly set in this faith, man. To render constant, confirm one's mind. To strengthen, make firm. To be steadfast, immovable. Because, hey, it's about to get rough out here, man. It's really about to get rough out here. And we have to pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushai every day. And we can't let these distractions move us, man. We cannot be thrown off our path. Your family may tug at you. The job may tug at you, man. But look, hey, we know all this stuff is about to end, man. None of this stuff is guaranteed. The only thing guaranteed is, if you're of the elect, salvation. So all this other stuff, man, hey, it don't even matter at the end of the day, man. Whoever may get offended in your family, they'll get over it, man. Especially when they see you being beamed up. They gonna understand once this this devil really show his horns, and all that nonsense is gonna end, man. All that nitpicking, all that stuff that really don't matter, it's gonna be a thing of the past. It's gonna be about survival, man. So, with that being said, hey man, we gotta keep our mind. We gotta be steadfast in this truth, because we don't have much time, man. So with that being said, we want to constantly give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, Shalom.